Alright, YouTube. So, my ordering is going to be kind of all over the place. By the way, I added something. I'll talk about that in a second. But today, I'm not doing seasonals. I'm doing fest. I'm going out of order because, frankly, I don't want to do seasonals today. That's a lot of Ubers, and I don't want to do that. So today, I'm doing fests. Or at least in this video, I'm doing fests. And, that does include the busters. Well, should I do busters in a separate one or should I do it in this one? Which one? Should I do busters now or should I do them as a separate video? Drink water? I refuse. Mainly because I don't want to go to my fridge right now. Lazy ass, do later. Separate? Okay. I can do the busters separately. I can absolutely do that. So, YouTube, you heard it here first. I'm only doing fests that don't include busters. Hydrate, I actually refuse to do hydrate right now. I wasn't joking when I said that. I do not want to go out to my living room right now. And that's where my kitchen is, in my living room. So that's fun. But anyways, fest Ubers. So we start off with a classic Mighty Lord Gao. There are only 4 busters. Is there not 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. Are you on something? Will this take 30 minutes or longer? Oh, you're actually doing a prediction. Brother, why are you doing a prediction while I'm trying to record a fucking video? Like, seriously. Do y'all not have the ability to read the fucking room? Will this take 30 plus minutes? Fucking hell, chat. As much as I love streaming, you guys do not know what common sense is. Good fucking lord. Okay, Mighty Lord Gao. He has 5,000 DPS, 64,000 HP, 5-second attack frequency, 470 attack range, and strong against anything with trait, plus 5% chance to crit, and immune to waves. Of course, he does have a slightly long recharge time, but his knockback count is very good. I don't know why the HUD is fucked, but whatever. We all love Mighty Lord Gao, right? He also has a first form that's really good. Where is the level 30 stats? Why? Whatever. I guess I am at 90% zoom all the time. Can you play, please? I hate the sound of silence. Thank you. Cynthia theme. W. Anyways. Okay, so I do not know why. Why did they change mirror he's? Whatever. 22k DPS, so 3,000 with strong against. Of course, this is 7,500 with strong against and about 120,000 with strong against. Of course, there are treasures. I do want to preface this. There was a commenter that said the other day that was criticizing the fact that I do not really specify with treasures and like consider that. So like for strong against, it would be like 1.8 times instead of 1.5 times for the DPS. But I simply don't want to do that math, right? You can do the math on your own. Like, I mean, I'm just giving you the borderline, like I'm giving you the base value. I'm giving you the simplified version of everything, just so that it's easier to understand, easier to see, easier to visualize, stuff like that. But you get the gist, right? Like I just go off of what this says, which is changed by treasures. But 5% chance to crit, 7,500 DPS from 470 range away. I think it would be criminal not to put him in A tier. I'm putting him at the bottom of A tier though, because hear me out, he's really generic and he lacks any valuable immunities for later on in the game. Immune to waves is nice, but it's not really that threatening thanks to wave blocker existing. And then there's also the fact that 7,500 DPS, it's got a lot of competition nowadays for 7,500 DPS at level 30, right? And like his survivability is really good, but his recharge time is kind of long, you know? And he doesn't have any form of pierce. See ya, Keva. Like, he's just really a generic Uber who, unfortunately, I mean, he doesn't have the same benefits that specialists do. His crit is really nice, so I think I might move him like up here. Upper end of A tier, maybe. Like maybe right below you. Because like he does have a lot of potential with this crit. It can help a lot in metal stages or stages that have metals. And his survivability is really good. But I don't think he makes it up to S tier, unfortunately. By the way, I'll get, like I said earlier, I'll get to this in a second. I'll probably be there real soon. Let's see if I can find myself again. Okay, so it's entirely going to be the Uberfest first, then the Epic Fest. Okay. First Love Mirsha better go in top 10? Nah, not even close. But Mitama, I think, absolutely belongs in S tier. Honestly, with ZL kind of changing the way the meta is, nah, she's kind of weak to sages and stuff. I think I'll put her, like, at the top. Yeah, she's an honorable mention. I think she's an honorable mention. Because, like, chat, what do you guys think? Is she just, like, top of S? Does she belong in top 10? Like, what do you guys think? Because, like, I've used Mitama a little bit. She has 350 standing range, 15 knockbacks, pretty long recharge time. I think that long recharge time alone makes me kind of want to just put her at top of S. Because, like, her slow isn't that close to 100% uptime, but her HP is really high. Resist against anything with a trait and slow against anything with a trait. She has a few immunities, but not surge or curse immunity, unfortunately, just because she's old. And so, like, above Windy? Above Windy? Above Windy? Nah. Nah. Not above Windy. Like, Mitama's really good, but 4k DPS, this used to be good for LD, but now it's kind of just like meh. It's kind of meh, right? Especially since her LD, well, her LD Pierce is really far ahead, 300, but she also has a decent sized blind spot, which means she can be rushed down. She has a lot of knockback counts, which can cause her to get juggled instead of, but like, she has really good survivability thanks to it. I think she's top of S. I don't think she's top 10. I don't think she's A. I don't think she's, you know, honorable mention. I think she's top of S. And that's where I'll put her. D'Artagnan. So, unfortunately, even through my own bias, I think I have to put D'Artagnan. I'm putting him above Mighty Lord Gao and Amaterasu and KG. You know what? I'll just do this. D'Artagnan's top of A. And that is slightly biased, right? That is slightly biased. However, I do want to bring attention to his first form. His first form is actually pretty decent. Having massive damage allows for his first form to... It's pretty fucking stackable because of its 4 knockbacks. But it's also got, like, what? This is multiplied by 3 or 4. So it's either 4,800 or 6,400 DPS on something with only 10-second recharge time, right? So, like, it's actually fairly usable. Like, if you still use Courier and ZL, you can definitely manage to use D'Artagnan. But it's his evolved form that's actually good. His evolved form is what's actually good, because it increases his range by 75, so he's 325 range. Still only a 4-second attack frequency while having over 50,000 damage per hit against traits. Anything with a trait. Of course, this is at level 30, which this scales way the fuck up whenever you level him to 60. Considering Uber's at level 60 is the biggest buff a lot of Ubers got, and D'Artagnan is one of them. There are ads, so I might kind of stall a little bit before I, you know, show off the true matter-changing stuff. But for YouTube, so while they're in ads, I want to go ahead and explain the honorable mentions. So what I want to do with the honorable mentions is I want to make it so that any fest Uber that takes up the top 10, because this is the no fest top 10, right? No fest. But any fest that takes over the top 10, that top 10, so like starting with Ganesha, let's say I put Dazzly all the way up here, Ganesha gets moved down to honorable mention. They don't get moved down to S tier, they get moved down to honorable mention, you know what I mean? So it's going to effectively be the top 10 of all Ubers, and then the honorable mentions would include the top 10s of non-fest Ubers. That's kind of how I want it to be. So if you want to know my top 10 without including fests, this is it, because there's no way in hell anything else is taking over other than fests. And yes, that it does include legend rares. Like, because I've gone through most of, like, literally all the mainline game Ubers, right? So that's what the honorable mention is. That's the top 10. I added that off stream, or not off stream, off video. I do also want to mention that I moved Komori. I moved Komori up from bottom of D to bottom of C because somebody did mention that Behemoth Slayer is actually relatively good. But chat, are we back from ads? I think Mitama is not overrated. Because remember, that is still a huge LD. It is still a huge LD and a huge slow. Not overrated at all. I've used Mitama and she has done amazing work. But are you guys back from ads? Like, unlike your mom, crazy. I've used her and she's not that great. I've used her and she's that great. So like you know, everybody has their own opinions, or their own personal experience. But now that you guys are back, I want to actually do this. I want to do the math here. Everybody's always talking about, oh, you know, D'Artagnan has so little HP, has such poor survivability, his damage is comparable to D'Artagnan's, right? To D'Artagnan's. I'm going to go ahead and look at D'Artagnan's level 60 DPS, right? Because remember, this guy, I'll talk more about D'Artagnan whenever we get to his point, but when strengthened, he has 20,000 DPS, 19,000 DPS at level 60, right? D'Artagnan at level 60, this is massive damage. So he has, let's say, 6,400, right? So I'm going to get a calculator out so that you guys don't have to trust my terrible math. So 6,400, please type, thank you. 6,400 times 3. So even on things without treasures, Meowsketeer has the same damage as a strengthened D'Artagnan, right? And like, you see this much HP and you see this much HP and you're like, oh, D'Artagnan still has far more HP. This is still a good amount of HP though. And with so many knockback counts, 6, it's like D'Artagnan effectively has better survivability because when are you getting hit and not getting knocked back, right? And so like, yes, there is a chance that you like skip knockbacks on D'Artagnan, but you have that ability, right? You have that leeway with that, right? And like, yes, there are different stat differences, but on pure damage alone, D'Artagnan, if you multiply 6,400 by 4, you get far more damage, or like a good amount more damage, 25% more damage than a strengthened, remember, strengthened, which is required to be 2 knockbacks down. Strengthened D'Artagnan has a great amount less damage than normal D'Artagnan or Meowsketeer throughout his entire lifespan. And remember, that is on 90-second recharge time. The only 2 things that I can see people saying as like, you know, shit talking is lack of immune to curse, which is kind of outdated because now ZL is, in my opinion, the meta instead of UL, and surge immunity, which unfortunately is still sometimes a threat in ZL, but not as much, right? ZL definitely benefits LDers with a lot of damage, a lot more than UL did. And so that is why I'm putting D'Artagnan so probably high up, right? Is because I personally believe him to be better than D'Artagnan for the point in the game that we are now. Because anti-traitless just simply isn't as desirable anymore. But of course, I'll talk more about that when we get over to Epic Fests. But yeah. Okay. Kasli. I think Kasli the Scourge is actually really underrated. I think she's still A, right? Like I think she's probably bottom of A. Because even she, along with D'Artagnan, actually fixes her survivability problem thanks to considering level 60. Except she has much better range than D'Artagnan. She has much better recharge, or not better recharge time than him, but this is better recharge time than Mitama, right? Like, it's actually good recharge time. And her DPS is effectively 9k at level 30, so at level 60, you know, like at level 60, she has 90,000 HP with 5 knockbacks, which is actually good, right? And then, like, the DPS is like 15,000, which doesn't sound amazing for level 60, but considering the 50% chance to knockback traded enemies, plus she's not immune to curse or surge. Sorry, I forgot about that. But she is really consistent, at pushing things back, right? Because it's 50% chance to knock back with a level 2 surge. So, hear me out, she's like actually good. Like, arguably S tier. I kind of want to, you know what? I don't know what the hell I just heard. But, honestly, I'm going to move D'Artagnan up just below Deliason. And I'm going to move Kasli up to where D'Artagnan was. Because I don't believe Kasli to be S tier, right? Because she is squishy, she doesn't deal the most damage in the world, and her knockback can sometimes be bad, plus she lacks immunities. Because D'Artagnan's main strength is he only has a 90-second recharge time, right? So he's not really that punished and stuff. But Kasli is 120 seconds, and I mean has a pretty big blind spot. She has her problems, right? And so, like, I almost want to put her in S. What do you guys think? This is going to be one of those moments where I ask what you guys think, because I think she's S tier, but I haven't used her in a while, and I feel like I don't really know. A? Okay, I'll keep her in A. Like, I don't think she has, you know, the kind of value that surpasses the threshold for S, you know what I mean? But D'Artagnan, absolutely. Just probably because of bias, honestly. Just a little bit because of bias. Okay, so Garu is an interesting one. He has 6k DPS, right? 320 range, resistant to anything with the trait, which means like 600,000 HP against a lot of things. 150-second recharge time, 3 knockbacks, immune to wave, zombie killer, and level 5 mini wave. Unfortunately, the level 5 mini wave kind of just increases his DPS to 7,500. He's actually more of a waver than a tanker, honestly, because he doesn't have a status. And as I've said before, a mid-range tanker without a status is kind of just like not good, because then they have no real reason to be living for a while. You have no reason to use them over something with massive damage or something like that, or just better damage, because mid-range tanks tend to not be the most offensive things of all time. But this guy at least has a mini wave, so he can snipe. He has snipe capabilities with 12k DPS. But there's much better ways to snipe the backline than doing that, you know what I mean? His Omni does reach 80 further than him, so he doesn't miss all that often. But overall, I think he's like middle of the road, right? Like, I think he's middle of B. Nah, he's actually really good. His survivability is really good. So I'll put him at the bottom of A. I don't know if there's a single fest in the game to not make it to A, to be honest, because even the Izzes are good. So I think all of them are going to be A. Speaking of Izz, are events being saved for last? What do you mean by events? Izzy Alluring Dancer has 300 standing range, 350 Omni though, 4-second attack frequency, 3,500 TPS, 60,000 HP, 2 knockbacks, 45-second recharge time. This is really good recharge time. And this damage may not look good, but then massive damage comes in, plus the strengthen. So 7k DPS at level 30 when strengthened, and then which is only after 1 knockback. So for 50% of the time, you're going to be at double the damage, which is 7,000 times 3 or 4, depending on treasures. Hits for 21,000 or 28,000. So against treasures, it's either 14,000 DPS or 28,000 DPS at level 30. Remember that. Which is actually really good, considering you also have good immunities, good speed, and pretty good bulk, honestly. Like, it's not the best bulk in the world, but considering 300 standing range, 350 Omni, it's not terrible bulk. Like, especially considering the recharge time. I'm like, she's also cheap. Don't forget that. So like, going a bit over the top with the Cosmo bit. It's not a bit. Like, just constantly talking about hating something everybody else likes and making it your entire personality. Okay, first of all, that's not a bit. That's just my opinion. Second of all, that's not something I do. I just express my actual opinion. And third of all, that's not my personality. My personality is not disagreeing with people. If that's what you think my personality is, then I am actually offended.
Ah, you're talking about Isu.
Where the hell did they say that they hated Cosmo? Garu having resist without curse immune is kind of funny. Brother, what? I'm looking through your chats. I haven't seen anything about... Whatever. Whatever. It was a bit ago? Well, bringing up the past. Whatever, you're fine. I thought you were talking about me, because I feel like that's something people actually think about me. Is... Honestly, I think worse than Garu, because Garu has Zombie Killer. So I'll move Garu up a little bit. I actually like Garu more than Logistics, even against zombies. Excuse me. And then is at the bottom of A. This Iz's main weakness is HP. Only having 30,000 bulk is kind of rough. That's what I will say about that. But their damage is still amazing. Phonoa. Thank you for taking constructive criticism. I haven't been so much on Discord, so I didn't know you'd stop. Sorry. I'll try to chill too. Both of y'all just need to chill, you know, having kinds of opinions like that. Like, just let other people be themselves. Like, if they want to cause drama, they can cause it. Just don't be part of it. But anyways, Phonoa. I think I have one of the hottest takes on Phonoa, and it's that he is top 10, but like... Do I even... You know, I hate Barg and Lazboss as well. I don't think he's better than Cosmo, though. And that is going to be our first honorable mention move down, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't think he's better than Cosmo. Like, as good as Phonoa is, right? He has long recharge time. He has 5 knockbacks. He has 600 range, which is really good, don't get me wrong. He has 7-second attack frequency, which is actually really good, considering his standing range and damage. He has 4k DPS, 44,000 HP. If you say to me, D'Artagnan has too low range, or not too low range, too low damage, and then say that Phonoa's survivability is awesome, you are hypocritical and biased. Because Phonoa has 1 less knockback, the same amount of HP, and way longer recharge time than D'Artagnan. So, I know he has 600 range, but, you know, he doesn't have any form of status. So he really doesn't have a way of keeping things off of him if they have decent bulk. And considering that most of the time you're not actually getting all of your damage off. Like, you might be getting all 3 hits in every now and then, or against certain enemies, but you're probably not going to be able to get consistently that 12 or 16,000 DPS that you see. You'll most likely be getting 2/3 of that, most of the time. So 2/3 of 16,000 is around 11,000. It's around 11,000 damage. I think double the range matters a lot, right? But like half the damage. Okay, same amount of damage if you consider the triple, like all 3 hits. And the immune to surge is nice. But like, I do want to strictly say, like, I'm not putting D'Artagnan above him. D'Artagnan's still a good amount lower. But what I am saying is that Phonoa is not perfect. His survivability, he is still squishy. He is still squishy and can be rushed down, and he does not have a form of status to slow things pushing him. And since a lot of things in the late game have a lot of HP, he is fairly easily pushed, especially since he does, you know, have a decent sized blind spot. He does have a lot of areas where he's not hitting more than 1 hit on. So his damage is inconsistent at best, right? So he is not perfect. And his recharge time, again, and he's also expensive. So like, remember, even the best Ubers in the game are not perfect. Anubis is not perfect. Cosmo is not perfect. I just don't want people acting like they're perfect. Obviously, I'm not going to really exaggerate my, oh, Phonoa is overrated, that, because like I've done that a lot, right? Where it's like, oh, this guy's overrated, but he's still this good. Like, people, they're still really good. I just exaggerate most of the time. But Phonoa is really good. I don't think I really have to talk about him much. But I still think Cosmo's better. just because of this. Honestly, specialist. I'm still considering specialist niche, so I'm putting him above Phonoa because against his specialist niche, he does provide that much. Because remember, this is considering both generalist and specialist. Cosmo missing 70% attacks. Be like, have you actually used him? Have you thought that you can lure instead of just, you know, backing him up with a bunch of damage? And at that point, why do you need another Uber? Or why do you need Cosmo if you're just pushing anyways? You know? Like, funny how chat just doesn't have anything to do with the stream. I know. But, like, here's the thing, right? Cosmo does have a long-ass force swing, but that's something that you can abuse luring for. It gives you time to lure. And that's what everybody else was saying. That's what even I'll say, because he has 200 Omni as well. So, like, he hits a lot of the field. But, like, without his specialist value, I think I would put Phonoa above him. But since this is a tier list considering both specialist and generalist, I think it would be kind of wrong to not give Cosmo the appreciation for his specialist value. Because that is there, and that is very significant. Because floating and angels are actually pretty significant. Anyways, moving on to Lunaria. 76,000 HP, 3,300 DPS, 5-second attack frequency, 400 attack range, 16 movement speed, 5 knockbacks, 100-second recharge time. You rarely lure? That's a you problem. Just change the way you play if you want to use a certain Uber at their peak, you know? That's what we're doing, is we're considering their peaks. But yeah, and then there's also a 450 Omni. There's strong again, so that this becomes 150,000, and this becomes about 5,000, just about. Plus explosion, so that goes to about 10,000 against their targeted traits. And they also have a lot of pierce with the explosion, and then it's also a really good freeze. It's not 100% uptime. Do not falsify your bias and say, oh, that's like 100%. It's not 100% uptime. There is some downtime in there, but Lunaria is easily S. Honestly, I'll even put her in the honorable mentions just because her specialist value is very good. But the freeze is still really good. But red, aliens, zombies, and relics. Do you know what all three of these traits have in common? You wanna know what all three of these have in common? Or all four of these, sorry. They're relatively power crept. Reds and aliens are really power crept. So is zombies, and relic gets power crept after you beat UL and Infernal Tower. So like, she is really good against her traits, right? Because the freeze is guaranteed, and it is carried through with the explosion. So it is really good uptime on freeze, and she is really like offensively powerful as well thanks to the explosion, and she's also one of the few to be immune to explosion, and then she's also immune to curse, which is nice. And her recharge time is really short, by the way. That is something to look at. And then she also has wave shield. So like, she's wave blocker. She blocks waves. So I honestly think that I might put her at the bottom of top 10, and I'll move Kai down here. I think that's what I'll do there. I don't know. I think that if I put another fest into the top 10 though, which I definitely will be doing, I think I'll put Lunaria down into honorable mentions. My general lineup has no erasers. Well, that's a you problem. Anyways, now it's Epic Fest. Should I do Epic Fest as a separate video? I might actually do that. You know what? I'm content farming. Peace, YouTube.